Hi everybody, again, Tom here. Let's talk about wood chips for a second. It's the end of January, but I just walked by this pile and kind of kicked at it for a little bit. It is frozen down in here, but not very much. And look, I can just pull up a chunk of this, and below that, it's actually warm to the touch. That's because this is still decomposing, and lots of times when you walk by a wood chip pile or a pile of hay or a pile of compost, you'll see steam coming off the top. It's not really steam, but it's vapor because it's a lot warmer inside than it is outside. And why is it warmer inside is because the bacteria are going nuts. And in this case, bacteria and fungi, primarily fungi, because this used to be a tree, right? Wood chips are made out of wood, and the relationship between, or I should say the ratio of microbes is very heavy on the fungi side where it comes to wood and where it comes to forest soils. This is why, and this is part of why, wood chips are just superior mulch. I get this question a lot. What's your favorite mulch? Well, there's all kinds of mulch, right? Red mulch, black mulch, natural mulch, pine mulch, cedar mulch, etc., etc. My feeling is that I would like to find an arborist wherever I'm living in the world and find out what went through their chipper recently. Now, doesn't mean I want to necessarily use brand new fresh chips. We'll come back to that in a minute. But I'm very interested not only in the fact that it's wood, if I'm going to use it to mulch my woody plants, my shrubs and my trees, but I'm also very interested in the fact that it's inherently diverse. What goes through the chipper is not always dead. It's not always evergreen. It's not always deciduous. It's got a little bit of everything. And that's what the forest floor is made out of, right? A little bit of everything. That's what we want. There's twigs. Some of these things get kind of stringy. They go through the chipper because they're not big enough to be chipped. This is called a ramial chip. That's because that wood is really young. Ramial wood chips are highly nutritious. Matter of fact, when you're pruning your ornamentals, don't even take those chips away. Just cut those little tiny clippings like this and just drop them right into the soil next to your shrub because they are highly nutritious. That's very, when you think about it, it's succulent new growth with a disproportionate amount of green vascular cambium tissue in it. Makes sense, right? Wood chips also has bark in it. Bark does not rot very quickly, so that means that your mulch will last longer in terms of its weed suppression function. On the other end of that spectrum, this ramial chip is going to decay quickly and provide nutrition for your plant. So what is mulch really? Mulch is not just weed suppression. It's certainly not just for aesthetic reasons, but it's absolutely, definitely for nutrition reasons because it builds the soil. That's what the forest does. The forest fertilizes itself miraculously, right, without our help, because it drops leaves and twigs and bark and nuts and dead wood and live wood, storm damage, squirrel poop. That's probably not very much squirrel poop in here. But my favorite mulch is whatever went through the chipper. Now, I mentioned green. There's a bit of a rumor out there that using bright green fresh chips can suck the nitrogen out of the soil. If that's true, it's very temporary. And where's it going to go? It's going to go right back. So don't get too worried about that. That said, fresh green chips can, as they start to decompose, because there's so much microbial activity in there, if the mulch is too deep, especially either at the on the job site or at the store where it was bought in bulk, that mulch can go sour, and that can, what's called anaerobic. That can be very dangerous and indeed can kill plants if it goes down in that anaerobic state. So when you're piling your mulch or your wood chips, make friends with your arborist, have them come make a pile, but try to keep it under 6 feet in height, okay? That has to do with the amount of oxygen and gas exchange between the atmosphere and the center of that pile. We do not want that to be 15, 20 feet tall. It's sort of counterintuitive. Let's keep our pile big and cook it hot and get it broken down. But it's really much better if it's lower and wider. And around the margins, you will have weeds coming up through it and other plants because they are happy because it's really yummy soil. So give a little bit back. But anyway, Wood chips, it's gold, I'm telling you. And as it decomposes, it only becomes more valuable because what's next on the spectrum? Compost. That's another day.